Does it feel like these days people are more easily offended, constantly on edge, and are just looking for a reason to complain? What an exhausting way to go through life. And if you're a leader, the stakes are even higher. Your ability to stay centered, curious, and approachable determines how much honest input you're going to receive as that leader. One of your core goals should be creating an environment where your people actually want to talk to you. So, how do you become more attractive and approachable as a leader? I'm reminded of when our kids were growing up and going to a party, my wife would tell them the best way to be interesting is to be interested. In other words, get curious. That reminds me of the old Dos Equis ad with the most interesting man in the world. He would end each ad with the phrase, "Stay thirsty, my friends." But what if your aim is to become the most interested man or woman in the world? Here are 5 practical ways to build that kind of curiosity, the kind that makes you a stronger leader, a better communicator, and a more compelling person. Number 1, shift from telling to asking. In conversations, most people just default to talking. Leaders who stand out ask really great questions. Earlier in my career, my wife and I attended our share of obligatory work parties. On the way home, we would ask each other, "Did you have a good time?" The answer was usually no. That was kind of boring. But then we shifted and began asking, "Were you able to blossom someone?" This was our way of encouraging us to help others open up and allow us time to be able to get to know them below the surface. As a result, we did get to know more people and have some strong friendships from that time period to this day. And by the way, we started actually enjoying the parties as a result. Now, this doesn't just apply to parties. Before your next event or meeting, have a few go-to questions ready. Questions like, what are you excited about right now? Or what's something that has surprised you this year? What's been your high-low of the last 30 days? Or if you could go back and redo any part of your career, what would you do? Curiosity deepens connection, and connection is your leadership superpower. Now, number 2, stay neutral when opinions are being voiced. Curiosity dies when pride walks into the room. So before a discussion, ask yourself, is pride in the way right now? Remind yourself that none of us became who we are alone. Now, if your natural response to that statement is, "Hey, I did this on my own, I'm self-made," that should be a big red flag with you. That's a blind spot. A quick diagnostic here is, how easily do you give credit? I love President Truman's quote when he once said, "It's amazing how much you can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit." Approaching conversations with humility and neutrality helps you listen without defensiveness, and that tends to draw people in. Number 3, seek honest feedback even if it hurts. Every high-performing leader needs someone who'll tell them the truth. A peer, a mentor, or a coach who isn't impressed by the title. And if you really want to be inspiring, ask some subordinates as well. But be sure not to hold their input against them. I once had a client who went through a 360 assessment with peers as well as subordinates, and he received some good but tough feedback. But instead of integrating it, he sulked for 6 months. Word spread, and now none of his people are honest with him. His reviews have been glowing ever since, but his growth has been capped. So, when someone offers you honest feedback, especially a subordinate, you have one job. Just thank them and receive it well. If you punish honesty, you'll never see it again. Number 4, watch yourself on Zoom on silent. Remote communication is now a core leadership skill. Record a few of your Zoom calls and then watch them back on mute. You'll learn more in 5 minutes than you'd expect. Ask yourself things like, does my body language invite input? Do I look rushed or distracted right now? Am I signaling openness or am I being subtly irritated? And yes, require all cameras to be on amongst your team. Reading the room is tough enough remotely. It's impossible without live screens. And then number 5, build in more time than you think you need. If impatience is one of your derailers, this is a game changer. Allot 25% more time to any interaction that you expect to be meaningful. Some conversations require patience to draw people out. Others move so quickly you need time and space to be able to absorb what you just heard. And remember, when speaking with members who haven't had much access to you as a leader, this can be a really big moment for them. Their nerves can make their responses longer or more scattered, so your extra margin of time helps you grant grace and creates an environment where they feel safe to share. Now, these are 5 principles that I've applied in my life as well as with my clients to build curiosity, which is one of the most underrated leadership skills. These are not by any means exhaustive, so I'd love to hear what's helped you as well. So feel free to comment below. And remember, stay curious, my friends.